Demonic Orchard here, bringing you another 2,500 point battle report. My list is going to be the Demonic Orchard, lore choice of Keeper Secrets, rockin' level 4 Slaanesh with the Eternal Blade and always striking first. He's a badass. My villains will be the Herald of Slaanesh, my BSB with +2 strength, and a Herald of Slaanesh with +2 attacks. My core choices, this is the Orchard, 54 Demonettes full command, and because of our campaign, I was granted Devastating Charge for the unit for my victory last time. With the Banner Swiftness, I'm quick. My special is 3 Blood Crushers Accord, full command, 5 Furies of Chaos, 3 Nurglings, 2 Skull Cannons, and 3 Plague Drones with full command. This is the list that, because of our campaign rules and my demons, I got to blink over to fight the pointy little Dark Elves. And the Dark Elf list is all from memory, so if I get some of this stuff wrong, please don't chew me out too much in the comment section, so I apologize. He had a Lord. Is it a Dreadlord? It was a Dead Lord by the time this thing was over with. Spoiler. Rocking a Dragon. He had, I think, a 4+ ward save. He had 2 heroes. They're both two level 2 Sorks with the Spell Scroll. He had the Ruby Ring of Ruin with it. He had a Medusa riding the cauldron-y, whatever thingy. You'll see why I don't know a little bit later. His core was 40 Witch Elves. Full command, I believe, 25 Spearmen, full command. He had a special, was 3 Bolt Throwers, 2 unit of 5 Dark Riders, and his rare was a Blackguard. And it's kind of think of it, I think he had another character somewhere, a hero. It was a BSB. You'll see in the battle report why I don't remember any of it. Sorry. My spells are 6 spells from the Lord of Slaanesh. My spells, bing! His spells were 2 from Lord of Death and 2 from the Lord of Darkness. Filthy, filthy elves. So on to deployment for his side. He had, and it's not in the picture, but on the far left he had 5 Dark Riders, and he put one of his Sorks with on the steed with it. He had a Bolt Thrower. That's his Lord riding the Dragon. He had his huge block of Witch Elves. Another Bolt Thrower. He also had, then he had his Spearman, his Blackguard, another Bolt Thrower, and then again, I missed the picture of it, is another Dark Rider. So yeah, that's how he deployed. Here's a better picture of his Bolt Throwers, and 2 of them, and then here's another one of his, the Bolt Thrower that was on the far right flank. This is another good picture of the same Bolt Throwers, just want to get some close-ups. His Dark Riders that were on the left flank, and then he had the same looking Dark Riders on the right flank, and those are the dirty Sorks that were in those units running fast and around. Here is the Dreadlord on a dragon, and a picture of his Spearmen and his Witch Elves, and then I got one more picture of the girls, and you will see why it's girl on girl action in a little bit. Yeah. So here is my deployment. On the right of your screen, you'll see a little picture of it. It's my Skull Cannon, followed by my 5 Chaos Furies, my big block of Demonettes with my BSB and my other Herald in it. I have my Juggernauts next to them, and then I have my other Skull Cannon and some more of my Plague Drones. I'm still kind of getting used to taking pictures in battles and having fun with it. I'm having so much fun just playing the game that I sometimes forget to take some pictures. What we had to do for the scenarios, we had to place objective markers and control them, so it kind of dictated my deployment. I actually deployed first, and I didn't waste any time. I threw my Demonettes dead center. I saw the big block of witches, and I was like, yeah, that's the combat I wanted. I've never played Dark Elves before. I know. Probably stupid for me to say it, but I thought, I'll rip through those things. Whatever. You'll see what happens. It's pretty epic. My Furies, I still don't know what to do with them. I'm starting to think that I converted models and they suck. So, I don't know, I'm so angry. Ugh, I suck. The skull cannons I put down so that I could actually start to get some shots off. I thought for sure I would go first, but I have Lord Tremendous's luck apparently with that. And then I put my Juggernauts so that if somehow my Demonettes got mucked up into something, that the Juggernauts could hopefully get some sort of a flank charge off and just decimate something. And then I put the Plague Drones. I really didn't measure. I never pre-measure. I don't know why. I know I can. I don't know. I put them on the right flank. I was going to have them kind of hover over the building to the side and just kind of flank around to go after, to just tie things up. That was my thought process. The best laid plans of mice and men. So after I got to deploy all that, I got to throw out my Nurglings, and I thought, I'll put them in front of a bolt thrower. I won't measure to see those Dark Riders sitting in the corner if they can't just zoom around me. No, I won't want to push the Dark Riders to the middle of my lines. No. I want them to run around my lines. Yes. A great general am I. So bad. Ugh. And here's another picture of my left flank and the awesome center of Demonettes. And my right flank. I don't even know why I told you I had flanks. You'll see why in a second. And this is his left flank. And another picture of his center. Sorry, it's so blurry. I don't know. I have the shakes. And this is his right flank with the Dark Riders over on the side. And this is him after he vanguards. So bad with me. His first turn of movement, he just kind of pushed it forward. It was pretty great. And this is his right flank, pushing it forward towards those objective markers. So we move into Magic, and he pops off the big Doom Bolt at my Skull Cannon. I have never played Dark Elves. I have no idea what any of this Magic crap does. So I just kind of took it. He 6-diced it, it went through, and the Doom Bolt is bad for my cannon. He rolls average. He does 14 hits and some wounds, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was bad. This is when I started picking up dice and rolling them and figuring out which ones sucked and which ones didn't. Lots of dice went back in my bag, and then I pulled out the trusty red ones, and everything became clear. After Magic went into shooting, he popped a shot at my Nurglings, doing 1 wound. Yes. And my Furies took a wound as well from the other bolt thrower. And then he turned his attention at my big brick of Demonettes and popped off another wound as well. I was fine with that. Thank you, Slaanesh Magic. So my movement turn 1, I fly my Furies out to get towards the Dark Riders, and I move my Nurglings up towards the Bolt Thrower. So after I moved my Furies, I have my Demonettes dead center. I moved them closer towards the Witch Elves as fast as I could, and I didn't really measure it out, so I didn't really see that I was exactly about 10 inches away from the Witch Elves, so it was a little crazy. I moved the Juggies up and my cannon across to take a shot at his Dreadlord on the dragon that was hiding behind the wall. And then I moved my Greater Demon up behind the Juggies and within 12 inches of the Demonettes so that I could possibly regen some of the Demonettes if my magic worked. So on my right flank, I turned the Plague Drones to face his Fast Cav. I'm not sure what I was thinking here. At the time it looked good. I thought, he's going to sit there for his turn. He won't move. That would be crazy. But yeah, definitely not thinking on that one. I should have just took the Plague Drones and ignored them completely. But it ended up working in my advantage. You'll just have to wait and see. So we go into Magic, and I go ahead and do my the lash at him, and I kill, I think, about 3 of his elves, which lets me respawn 2 of my guys. I don't have any shooting, there's no close combat, so that's going to pretty much end the turn right there, which will take us into his movement. And move he did. This is his charges. He charged the Black Knight or Blackguard and the Spearman into my Juggernauts. Again, I'm not quite sure why I moved them so close. I wasn't really thinking about it. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get some wounds on. I'm a little worried because the flank of my cannon's exposed here. If they go, he might run into my Greater Demon, even though I'm not really worried about his Blackguard killing the Keeper whatsoever. But just it was a mistake, and I really need to watch those mistakes, especially if I'm going to start going to some of the tournaments around the local area. Stupid. So the rest of his movement, his left flank, he moved his fast cav around my Furies so that I was out of his charge arc. I actually had my Furies in the other picture. You can see I was facing every direction, and then I realized that I can't do that anymore. So I had to straighten him up, and I told him I faced him, so it's fixed. So he's going to get off some more magic here. And I have nothing that can actually charge. He ended up making a mistake with this unit, and I will show you later what it was. He moved his other fast cav around the plague drones, and he put them in a position to shoot at them. So we go into his magic phase, which does nothing, and go into shooting, and he used everything he could to shoot at my Nurglings, and he did 2 more wounds, and that was it for all of his shooting. That was it. Which was really good for me that he missed with that, which brings us to combat, and believe it or not, the Juggernauts did much better than I thought they would. He attacked with all of his Spearmen, re-rolling to hit, picking up the ones, re-rolling to wounds, and he does 2 wounds, or 1 wound to my 1 Juggernaut with all of his Spearmen. He then attacks with his Blackguard, and he picks up all of his dice, and he rolled like doo-doo. I mean, it was bad. So he picks up all of his hits, the misses, and he re-rolls them, and just, I think he hit with everything he had. He went to roll a wound, and I think he did like 8 or 9 wounds. I saved all but 1. My Juggernauts attack back and just smack the crap out of his guys, and he loses a bunch of guys. I end up winning combat by 1, and when I win the combat, he picks up the dice, rolls it for his Spearman, and he rolls like a 5. And he looks at me like, my guys are stubborn. Here it comes. He's like, I just got a feeling about it. And I think this is the jinx, because he actually rolled a 12. And his Blackguard run away. And there they are. Run away! Be afraid of the Juggies. Which brings us to my turn, and this is basically what it looks like after movement. I actually had to go back and I had to move my cannon because I had forgotten to do it. I was taking so many pictures. But this is pretty much the battle line where the important part is. My Nurglings I do charge, and I'll show you that in a bit. They charge the bolt door. But my Demonettes charge his Witch Elves, which we knew was coming, and I think even at this point he thought that the Witch Elves were just going to wreck my Demonette's face, and we were talking, and he was like, you know, I'm always still going to strike first, and I was like, why strike first? And we were kind of talking about the combat. I don't know why. We were theory hammering it out when we were getting ready to actually do it. I end up moving, you see where my Greater Demon's at right there. I end up moving him up in such a way that he's in the center of all of his units. So he's 7 inches away from the Witch Elves. He's, you know, 10 inches away from the Blackguard and a couple of inches away from the Spearmen. And I know what I'm going to do in Magic. He has no clue what's coming in Magic, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's all good as far as I'm concerned. I noticed that his dragon, as you can see right there, is still hiding from the cannon, and I completely understand why he would hide from it, but yeah, we'll see. And there's my Nurglings smashing into the bolt thrower. Don't think it'll survive it. And another picture of the combat to be, which is greatness. And this is my Furies moving around over top, and they're getting ready to charge the other bolt thrower. This is a picture of actually what it looks like after I move my cannon and where I put my greater demon. And this is where I move my plague drones this turn, which will take us into magic. So my first spell in the magic phase, I go ahead and cast Hysterical Frenzy, and he actually thinks about this for a little bit, and we actually kind of discussed it a little bit. He thought about it, and I was actually okay at the time with him throwing his dice at Hysterical Frenzy, and because I had Cac still left, and he asked me what spells, and I was like, I have Cacophonic, and I was in position to just crush some units. So he was like, I'm just going to let it go. And when he did it, he said it, I only had 5 dice left. So I was going to 5 dice Cac. I only threw 3 dice at Hysterical Frenzy, and it went off, and he only has a level 2. So now I'm sitting on Demonettes with 2 attacks, plus the Devastating Charge, which is 3, and Hysterical Frenzy, so 4. Both of my Heralds are in there. This combat, as of right now, I'm feeling really, really good about. And I know that this could be game-changing if I get Cac off, which, spoiler, I do. I actually cast it irresistibly, and when I cast it irresistibly, I do some wounds to the Witch Elves and everybody else. The most important part of it is they're all always strikes last now, which is just perfect for me. And my Demonettes are always strike first. And the resulting miscast, I lose Cacophonic Choir, which stunk, but oh well. After magic, we go to shooting, and my cannon spies with his beady little eyes some elves. So I take a shot at his skirmishers I told you he probably made a mistake with, and promptly threw on some wounds. Not too shabby. Leaving just one guy and his Sork there for the taking. So with no more shooting left, we go to combat and a little girl on girl action. What? And I wreck face. I had so many attacks. I felt like a Beastman player with Minotaurs. It was so yum 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 yum. I got to pick up dice, roll dice, throw some more dice, pick those up, throw some more. My opponent didn't have as much fun with it as I was having, but I don't care, because I was throwing dice, and it was so nice. But basically, as you can see with the carnage, I wrecked face. My heralds wrecked even more face. The face was wrecked. He got to attack back, and it really doesn't matter how many he got. But I will say this, I did not take a picture of the dead pile because, in all honesty, he really was not having fun with this combat. It was not good on his side. So I kind of didn't want to take too many more photos of it. But yeah, I can't even remember how many attacks I had. I mean, just in the front rank, I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like something like 7 Demonettes times 4 attacks apiece, plus the champion. So it was like 29 attacks, and then my herald, one of my heralds had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attacks, and the other one had 6. So it was so many attacks going through. I killed every single one of his Witch Elves down to 8. I think he had 8 Witch Elves left and that Medusa on top, and he did nothing back to me. It was glorious. And after I did all those wounds, he went and rolled the dice, and I chased him down and ate his freaking soul. But for all that soul drinking I did on his Witch Elves, which there was a lot of it, I mean, even thinking about it now, I'm still happy. Happy man. My Juggernauts did not fare so well against his Spearmen. Even though they were attacking last, I whiffed. And when I say I whiffed, I mean I absolutely did nada to this dude. But he did a lot to me. He wrecked my face. And after the face wreckage, I rolled, and I rolled really low, thank goodness. And I actually only lost one more put one more wound on my last Juggernaut. But as you can see now, he's not in combat with my Juggernauts. At least that's how I played it. Whether or not I'm right or wrong, if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. Which is going to set up a beautiful flank charge for him in the next turn, which is kind of depressing for me, but I'll take it. I mean, it is what it is. The Juggernauts did well the first round, so, and you can see all the markers there for my magic phase of his always striking last right there. Yeah, so not too bad. So that's going to take us into his turn. So after all the carnage, his turn, he charged into my Juggernaut, and there was no magic this time. He shot and killed one of my Furies, and his dragon breathed on my Demonettes, and the stinky bad breath did a lot of wounds. And there you can see all the casualties that he inflicted upon me, about 8 of them, so that kind of sucked. And then the Nurglings, they finished off his guys there in that combat. And my Juggernaut, he was definitely a knot on that one, and he wrecked my face. So that takes us to top of 4, and this is the battlefield after movement. And this is when I realized that I had not been taking pictures after movement each time. I don't know why that is. I think it's because I'm trying to concentrate and actually play well, that sometimes I forget about my camera. But that's no excuse. I am getting better though, I think. So I charged my Greater Demon into his Blackguard that rallied last turn, and my Plague Flies, drones charged as well into the front. I thought that would be a good idea. I moved my Demonettes to face the dragon, and my cannon faced it as well. So it looked like I was going to get a pretty good shot off there, possibly. I wasn't quite sure. My Furies charged his Bolt Thrower, and my Nurglings are coming back around. And here's another picture of the close combat that is to be. I think I'm going to do good well there. And my Nurglings just kind of moving towards his guys. And another picture of my Furies. My magic phase was very unsuccessful. I blew up one of my Nurglings there. I forgot which way I rolled, but of course I did nothing to him and something to me. Wasn't game breaking or anything. Wasn't even really that big of a deal. And then I went ahead and cast an Hysterical Frenzy on my Plague Drones. So hoping for the best. And I threw Acquiescence on his Spearmen so they couldn't charge the flank of my Greater Demon. So for combat, my Furies took on his Bolt Thrower, and I lost one. I had a charge. Yeah, it was a wash, no big deal. This combat, I wrecked face again. I did lose 2 Plague Drones. In hindsight, I probably should have cast Acquiescence here, and I might have actually just wiped the unit, but whatever. My Greater Demon had like 10 attacks and did so many wounds. It was pretty great. I really enjoyed the Eternal Blade. You know, I think this is actually going to be his top of turn 4 right here, I want to say. But he basically moves everything around, and he brings the dragon up, randomly moves his spearmen, his fast cav charged my cannon. I'm not sure what the thought process behind that was. And then he moved his other fast cav around my Nurglings. We go into Magic, and he really didn't have anything to cast at all. I don't remember what he rolled, but it was really low, and so he just kind of moved everything up. I think he was thinking that the dragon was going to charge my Greater Demon next turn, but where he positioned it was really weird, because he really wouldn't have. He's not going to have a charge on anything there. So this is a better picture of the combat for the cannon. And here is my Furies. We rolled it out and we did nothing to each other. My cannon, however, takes his attacks, laughs in his face, and then butchers 3 elves. They deserve to die. they're still elves. And then for his blackguard, I completely finish him off, and I look like this. My greater demon to face his dragon, and my plague drone is looking so that he can go take on some objectives. So we go to my turn, and I charge his dragon and his dreadlord. My plague drone, actually I think I was wrong on the placement or when I took the picture for that turn, because his sork was a little bit south, and I charged him with my plague drone, and then he rolled really low, I rolled really high, and I overran and killed his last sork. So yeah, this is what the board looks like near the end of the game here. So we go right into combat. I didn't see the point of doing magic and whatnot. I mean, we were pretty much there. Actually, you know what? I did do magic. I did one spell. I cast Acquiescence on his dragon, and that was it. And I killed his last remaining Dark Riders, and I had him turn and face the dragon in case it was still there. So we go to combat with his dragon, and before combat, I roll on the Eternal Blade, and I rolled a 3. So my Greater Demon had 9 attacks, and I rolled to hit, and I slaughtered the dragon. He doesn't do anything back to me. He's on Snake Eyes, and as you can see there, he rolled it, Snake Eyes, and I was just like, oh my god. That sucked so hard. So after combat, we go to his turn, and I really just took this one picture because he was really distraught the way the game was going, and I felt bad about taking pictures of pretty much me destroying the whole army. So he kind of just BS'd for a little bit, and he was just like, he pretty much at this point gave up, and he was like, you just want to fight some of these little things out. So we went ahead and we fought the Dreadlord thing out, and this is after I took the picture. I completely killed it. The Dreadlord, it wasn't a big deal. With the Eternal Blade, I didn't even take my last turn. We talked about it, and we just basically said, you know, I'd move here. You'll see that I have lined up to attack his Spearman. We thought it would be kind of fun to see what would have happened. I didn't take any pictures of it. Again, at certain points, I don't like to rub people's faces in if I do win and win badly. I mean, nobody likes to get tabled. So I kind of stopped with the photos. I could tell he was upset. But I did charge into the Spearman, and my Greater Demon basically would have massacred all of their faces. What? Face roll! And yeah, that's it. So I won by a ton, and that's it. That's all for me. That's what we got here. I see y'all later. Well, since you all are still here, don't forget about Rock Wars GT. I know you've heard about it. Just do it. Come see the orchard. We'll have beer. Beer. And also June 27th and 28th, Wargamers Con in Austin, Texas. I've never been to either of these tournaments, but I hear they're great times, so I'm super excited to go. Should be great. See y'all there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, subscribe, comment. Unless it's a mean comment, then whatever. Even if it's mean, go ahead. Leave me a message. It'll be great. We'll have fun. Comments. Woohoo!